Yeah, people always want to know how close are we to the coming of Christ. My answer would be, how long is the long suffering of Jesus Christ, not wishing that any should perish. So I cannot put a time frame on it, but prophetically, we are on the very edge of eternity. All the prophecies pertaining to the end have been fulfilled and are in the process of being fulfilled. So yes, the Lord is coming soon, sooner than we think. The only righteousness that I know is the righteousness of Christ. And the righteousness of Christ can only be purchased under his blood-stained banner. In this world you will have tribulation. If you are a son, you will be chastened. If otherwise you are not a son, which father does not chasten his son? Daniel chapter 12 verse 10 says, "Many shall be purified and made white and tried, but the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand." And Psalms 119 says that if we love the law, we will have great understanding. The law, whether we like it or not, is going to be the dividing factor. Now, the last time we were here at Kadesh Barnea, sitting in tents, and perhaps some nice buildings by then as well, we thought the law will carry us across. No, the law doesn't carry us across. The righteousness of Christ carries us across. But the righteousness of Christ is made manifest in obedience to the law. It depends where you place the emphasis. So this time round, we have to enter in with understanding.
Yeah, hi, I'm Wayne Smith. I'm a anesthesiologist at Cary Medical Center, and I'm a member of the Caribou SDA Fellowship. We have a very outreach-driven church, and so many members are focused on what they can do for Jesus Christ. And it's just a privilege to work together with them. And this camp meeting is one of the outreach activities that we've cooperated on. It has really been interesting and exciting to see how God has led in the different ways. This tent here is it's just amazing how God led Cary to find it on eBay and to negotiate with the gentleman in its purchase. And the fact that the man was so cooperative, he was a Christian and he wanted to see us have this tent, so he took a substantial deduction on what he was asking for the tent to allow us to have it here. And the sacrifice that others have made to pick it up and to bring it here, to work together to put it up, it's just a real blessing.
Hi, my name is Greg Vatistis, and this is my wife, Rafael Vatistis, and we are from Gates of Canaan Ministries. And we decided to come up to this camp meeting this week because we heard that Professor Veith was going to be here, and we love Professor Veith, and we were very excited to hear his lectures. And what we're currently doing is working on combining the third angel's message, the proclamation of the third angel's message, with the medical missionary work, as we see outlined in Testimonies to Ministers, page 415.
And I'm just very excited about the class that was just given on country living and the preparation for these last days. And, there is that preparation that needs to be done for our land and all that. Most importantly, the preparation of heart that is really being emphasized here, and how we need to give everything to Christ. And so that's what we're trying to do in our ministry, and also with helping people to come to the light of health reform, the health message, because we know that is a foundation in gaining the victory over sin. And we're just thankful to be here and thankful to be a part of God's last day church and last day messengers.
Hi, my name is Arthur Brody, and I am a lifestyle educator, sports massage therapist, and also orthopedic massage therapist. We found out about the camp meeting probably about a month ago, and I just wish I had known about it, that it had been going on for the last 5 years. It's been a real blessing to hear Walter Veith His message is right to the point for our times, and I think every Adventist should be here at this camp meeting.
My name is Dennis Dick. I live in Otisfield, Maine. This is Dorothy, my wife. One of the reasons I'm here is because I was introduced to the church through the health message. I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease in 1988. I started going on a vegan diet, and that's what introduced me to the church. But what I found since then is that there's a lot of parallels between the spiritual message and the physical portion of the message. What we put into our bodies is very similar to what we put in our minds, and so this message, the message that that Christ can change our hearts, and He can also change our health as well, is one that is very evident in this camp meeting.
I'm excited to be here. Pastor Walter Veith has been a great inspiration, and many people have either come to the Lord or been kept in the faith because of his ministry. So we were really excited to come and hear him speak. This is our first camp meeting here, and we found it to be a big blessing. The people are wonderful. The food was great. The setting was beautiful. So we're really excited to be here. We're looking forward to next year. That is, if there is a next year. It looks like things are really going fast in the world right now as far as things coming together for end-time events. So we're just really thankful and blessed to be here.
Yeah, my name is Ted Andrews. I'm from the Caribou Fellowship. My thoughts have been this, that our young people we should have a school up here that will teach the basic skills needed to live in the country. That includes electricity, some electronics, some science, basic science, plants, how to plant gardens, how to build greenhouses, how to work with nature, because God has given us tremendous amount of things up here in Maine.
How you doing? My name is Carlos Garcia. I'm from New York City, the Bronx. About 4 years ago, I had left the church and was in the world, and my wife was also as well. She wasn't in the church anymore, and we had left the Adventist church. But 4 years ago, Yahweh was calling her to come back, and I decided that I didn't want to come back, and I stood. I stood in New York, and she came up here, and with my brother-in-law and his wife, and because my other brother-in-law lived up here. And when I came up here, rebellion, kicking and fighting, I didn't want nothing to do with being in the church anymore. Yahweh broke my heart, and I came back. Even started my own ministry where now I have a group of people, and we're going into historic Adventist understandings of stuff, going back to the Millerite movement, going up into looking over the prophetic charts and what Adventism is for us now and how we need to continue to progress.
My name is Jean-François. I am from New Brunswick, Canada. And that's my third year I come here. I have to say to you, this is special for me. And I really appreciate the program for the children, the workshop, and everything we get on health and all the stuff they provide to go knock door to door to reach people for God. I cannot forget it. It's really awesome.
So my name is Frankel Owellus. I'm from Middletown, New York. This is my first time coming here. It has been really a great pleasure, and I spent a couple of days here. It's really fantastic, and I learned a lot about prophecy, and I learned about preaching the gospel, go door to doors. And my kids, I come with my kids and my wife. We are all enjoy, this plain nature and the people, the Seventh-day Adventist people. It's really a great pleasure to be here.
My name is Gabriel Aruda, and I am an evangelist and a church evangelism trainer. And I'm here in Maine speaking to the people at this wonderful camp meeting about how to get more involved and how to be motivated to do God's work. Our ministry is the Evangelism for Life ministry, and that's a ministry essentially that goes from church to church, training church members and equipping them how to reach people in their sphere of influence and in their local community. I will never, ever have a better friend than Jesus, period. And I realized all of my relationships, it was conditional love. Well, I'll hang out with you because I think you're cute, or I'll hang out with you because you're good at this, or I'll hang out with you because you make me laugh and we have a good time together. It was all based on conditions. But when those conditions left, when the fun was gone, so were the friends. But I realized Jesus would never, ever leave me. It didn't matter if I was not cool. It didn't matter if I was broke. It didn't matter if my art stunk. He was going to be with me, period. And I said right there, this is it. I found it. I found it. There is no better friend than Jesus. Jesus, I'm with you. I'm done. No more friends before you. I'm with you. I've tried the friends thing. They burned me. I can never find love like that. Friends, where is love like that in the world?
Hi, my name is Sidney Whiting. I work as an ophthalmologist in Caribou, and I'm part of the Caribou SDA Fellowship that was involved in working with other churches in the area to plan the camp meeting. So it's been a lot of work, but it's very worthwhile. I think this camp meeting is very unique compared to some other camp meetings in that it emphasizes equally so with the preaching and speakers a practical aspect of life. This year has been amazing. We've had a blacksmith, we've had upholsterers, they built hoop houses, greenhouses, a geodome, had horses. On Sabbath there's going to be a special treat with all sorts of animals for the kids to find treasures. There's been survival skills, teaching about hydrotherapy, CPR certification, other first aid classes. It's been amazing. So I think that's what sets this camp meeting apart from others. Besides the spiritual food, there's also a lot of practical activities that are fun for the kids, and the adults can learn a lot too. So it's been a blessing to be here this year, as it has been every year since we started. I believe this is our 4th camp meeting. So we're grateful to see how God has been leading and blessing our lives and being a part of it.
My name's Mark Clemenson, and I'm here at the Caribou Seventh-day Adventist Fellowship camp meeting up in Presque Isle, Maine. And I came here to be exposed to the brothers and sisters who want to know present truth. I'm a member in the Amazing Discoveries board team, and so I had an intrinsic need to also get to see my friend Walter fight. I praise the Lord that the man's been used mightily, as the other workers that are here as well today. I look forward to an opportunity that we can come together in unity and that we can finish this work and go home.
Yeah, how you doing? My name is Miguel Malavi, and of course my wife Frances Malavi.
Well, what drew us to come here was we were living in the city and decided that we wanted to better ourselves and give a better life to our children. And being a Christian, we decided we wanted to come out to the country. And so we prayed about it, and we started looking for land. And we came further north and just fell in love being in the outdoors. And so we started looking for land, and we found, through God's grace, we found a piece of land, and we prayed about it. And we have 43.6 acres of land, all through God's grace, and we started building a home where our church family helped us to start our home. We bought all the woods, and we did a house raising, and so now we're actually living in the home. We're still working on it 4 years later. We're still working on the home, but we learned how to plant a garden and how to cultivate it and do all those wonderful things. And we've decided that there's nowhere we're going to go back to New York City after living in the country. The peace and the tranquility that we've received and the blessing we've received, there's no way we can go back. We know we've made the right decision through God's grace. So right now, Mike and I are living off the grid. We don't have running water, but it's the best thing that we've ever done. And we continue to live, and there's no way. I'm so blessed that today we're here in this camp meeting, and we can share our experience with those who want to come out of the city. It wasn't easy for us, but we went by faith, and we decided that, you know what, if God could part the Red Sea, He can also help us out. And so we decided to come out. It's a blessing. I will never go back. But we've received the blessing being here, just listening to Walter Veith and all the speakers that have been here. We've been truly blessed, and all the people that have come from all different parts, just meeting them and being in God's house. So we're so grateful to be here.
When you come to the country, you realize it's character changing. Not only moving out of the country, but when you go out there and you go through all these struggles and tribulations, small trouble, it's a beautiful thing because it's character changing. You realize that this is where we need to be, in the country, not in the city. So I advise you people, we need to leave the cities now and move to the country for the benefit of our safety and our health. And I praise the Lord. It's been a great blessing, and it gets better. It keeps getting better.
My name is Cam, and I'm here at this camp meeting because I've heard, well, for one thing, I heard that Walter Veith would be here, so I came especially because I wanted to hear him. I've followed him here and there, on Amazing Discoveries, and so I like that channel. It's a channel that speaks the truth, and I've always loved the truth. I was 40 years old when I became a Seventh-day Adventist. I was a Catholic before that. It's really a beautiful camp meeting. I really enjoy it, and I'm planning on coming again as long as they keep coming up with these kind of speakers. Where it's nice to to come around where you're going to meet some people that love the truth and want to live it.
Yeah, I'm David Brayman, and I'm from Lancaster, Massachusetts. So I've driven a good 400 some miles to come here. I was told about these meetings last year. I didn't get a chance to come up, but clearly there's a lot of people here that are concerned with trends in our church. The theme to get back to the old paths is very predominant here, a common thread. I think we all can agree that we have a very important job to do in reach as well as reaching the world with the three angels' messages. It's no time to water down our three angels' messages. And so I'm glad that there's an emphasis here, because we got to boldly go out and reach those that are unreached still. And there's been a good mix of ministries here. A good 400 to 500 people have been here, and maybe more since then. But God is calling a people together in these last days who will not be timid in facing and going to the front lines that the Lord has had us to go, where others are shrinking from this work. So we have a lot of work to do, and we have to stay on that platform of truth, which, in my opinion, has been compromised a great deal. So if we can get back to the old paths, as Pastor Veith has said, get on with medical missionary and doing our missionary work without watering anything down and being afraid of speaking the truth, whatever consequences may come our way. This is a powerful message that will not be suppressed. We know there's a shaking. We know there's a great conflict coming ahead. And so this is a good way to get prepared for these times that are ahead. And we're all pressing together. We're like-minded in faith, and I think this is exactly what we need at this time. So this is why I'm here. And there's so many people that have the same outlook, and I think God's calling these people together. Not that we are to develop a holier-than-thou attitude, but that we are humble instruments that can be used by the Lord. So it's been a real blessing for me and my wife especially, and I know many others, the same thing.
Okay, hi. My name's Coral Hume. This is my first year here. I'm from Leamington, Maine, and we heard that Professor Walter Veith was coming. We love the Lord, my husband and I, and we work with our Seventh-day Adventist Pathfinders, and we have found the classes to be wonderful, and should the opportunity present again, we will probably be back.
Hi, we're Chuck and Diane. We're from Indiana, and we spend a lot of summers up here in Maine, and last year we heard about the camp meeting, and we missed it. And so we had planned, we looked on the website and got information, And when we heard Walter Veith was going to be up here, we definitely made plans this year to attend, and we haven't been disappointed. A lot of times we'll sometimes come to a meeting for the main speaker like Veith, but we've enjoyed all the speakers that have been here. And the facility is beautiful up here at the Baptist Park, and we've had good weather and just met a lot of very nice people, and hopefully we can make it a regular attendance here every year.
Ted and Diane Andrews. We're from the Caribou Church, and our ministry is to show people how to garden, show people how to do container gardens, and show people how to increase the growing season by using a hoop house.
And we gave out a packet of companion gardening and how to build a hoop house. And it seemed like it was really receptive. People really liked
We don't have any more left.
Okay, my name is Andrew Silas. I'm actually a part of the Caribou Church that sponsors this camp meeting. Just happened to move back to Washington for a year now, but could not miss our camp meeting, especially knowing that we had some very special speakers here, including Walter Veith. So we made a trip 3,000 miles across the country to come here. And so far, even though we've gotten here a little late, we've been truly blessed. I actually did a short, brief workshop on country living. We have had over 20 years of country living experience, and we thought that it would be a good idea to come and share some of our experiences with folks who are considering that. And I think overall it's just an experience that I've never seen anyplace else. So I would encourage all who are looking for a camp meeting that's spiritually rewarding and in every different aspects of life. If you're looking for something that you can be blessed with as you seek to prepare for the coming of Christ, then I would definitely try to attend this camp meeting again next year.
So my name is Kerry Simpson, and I live nearby the camp meeting here in Monticello, Maine. And I was privileged to have an opportunity in helping put part of this camp meeting together. And in so doing, we looked at what we thought would parallel with some of the educational principles that we've been given for true education, and thought that maybe if in a school setting, the practical aspect or the hands-on aspect of learning helped our book learning even more, and vice versa, that maybe we should use those same principles in a camp meeting setting. And so we've tried that this year, and it's been a wonderful blessing. Perhaps the closer that we come to the blueprint that God has given us, the happier and healthier we'll be. And so it's been a very fulfilling camp meeting for me. I think we've grown several steps closer to God's plan in education and the way we learn of Him, and looking for what He has in store for us in the future. Perhaps we've experienced a little taste of heaven.
Okay, I'm Mark Coleman. This is my first time in Northern Maine at the Northern Maine camp meeting. I really enjoyed myself. I come from Adventist Frontier Missions. I work for Adventist Frontier Missions, and I was here to speak about the spiritual aspect of missions and the needs of missionaries still around the world. I really enjoyed myself, and the one thing that really touched me about this camp meeting as opposed to any other camp meeting I've ever been to are the practical lessons that people could learn through the week. I mean, there were classes on upholstery, on hoop houses, animal husbandry. I even learned from watching. I wasn't part of the class, but I learned from watching how to put a sheet metal roof on a house. So I learned a lot. I'm very thankful for coming, thankful for the spiritual lessons. The messages that I heard were all a blessing, but also the practical lessons that help us apply some of the spiritual lessons in everyday life. So that was what I gained from being here.
And He's promised to use you and me as His missionaries to do it. In the ends of the earth, or right in our neighbor next door. And God calls us. He doesn't call us in a vacuum. He calls us in our lives, our imperfect lives as they are. And He says, I can use you to reach the world. And the little thing, the little sharing that you do today with your neighbor is helping to hasten the coming of Jesus Christ. Amen? And so then We talked the first day we shared together that the true missionary is more solicitous, not of the reward, but of Jesus' presence and work in his life at present. However, there is a reward, and we are told to look for it. Amen?
Okay, I'm John Record, part of the Caribou SDA Fellowship. And here at the camp meeting, this is our 4th year that we've been working here on these grounds with the Baptist Park Group. And they've been very kind to open up this park to us. It's been a blessing to many people. Some of the background of the camp meeting has been, in years past, 100 years ago, the Seventh-day Adventist people used to take 2 weeks for camp meeting many times. They would spend 1 week encouraging the brethren, the Seventh-day Adventists, about the Lord's soon coming. Then they would take another week and they would invite all the non-Adventists in the community, and they would bring them onto the grounds. And there they would learn about diet, they would learn about education, they would learn about Christ and his ministry above. What we have tried to do is we're trying to steer people back to what was the success that made Adventism what it was. And we're trying to look out the old paths and say, you know, they had some pretty good ideas that maybe if we went back there and tried to implement some of these things, that maybe we would have a wedge to enter into the heart of some of the non-believers in the community. What we found is that the camp meeting has been a real blessing to Seventh-day Adventists. As we're watching these end-time events unfold before us, things that we that have been raised Seventh-day Adventists have heard many years ago, that the Lord was coming soon and that certain things would take place. We are watching this fulfilled right now. Every time somebody turns on the news or watches a newspaper, looks at a newspaper, there are events unfolding before us. And yet, so many times we're so quiet about what's going on. And we feel we don't want to ruffle feathers or we don't want to upset anybody. And I think it should be just the opposite. We need to wake up. We need to be aware of what's going on around us. If we don't speak out soon, our neighbors may perish eternally. And if we're not speaking out to tell our neighbors, then we ourselves could be lost. So what we're trying to do is encourage Seventh-day Adventists first with these camp meetings that the Lord is coming soon, and to stay by the old waymarks and the landmarks. There's no need to try to worship God in a different fashion, a different way. He's a holy God. And we are doing things with music here that God has brought some really good musicians on these grounds. We're having good sacred music. We're having a tremendous benefit with the children and the young people that are learning some hands-on projects. We've had different animals out here. They've had horses and they've had a lot of building projects. We're putting a roof on one of the buildings here on the Baptist Park. They've been doing covering pillows, I believe, and building things out of wood. There's a lot of activities that people can do rather than just sit back and listen to meetings. And then with the meetings, we've had some tremendous meetings. We've had 3 great speakers that are here that all love the Lord, are very connected, and they've been inspiring to the people that have come on these grounds. We've had some policies here that we don't charge for people. We do accept donations, but this year we've served breakfast and lunch, and we've had a very good turnout for that. We have a vegan diet, and we can usually accommodate what people's needs are for the most part. If there's anything special about that, we try to get along with that. And we just mentioned that if people want to come, there's a lot of people that have come from as far away as California, from Florida, from a lot of other states. And they're finding that this is a different camp meeting, that it's very inspiring, and we're very thankful that the Lord has blessed us with the ability to come on the Baptist Park here. We have a very good relationship with the people that run this place, and we're just like to encourage all those around here that, if you get a chance to come to Northern Maine, then step out, come up and see us. Next year, it'll be sometime towards the end of August probably that we'll rent the park again, and all are welcome, and we'd love to see anybody up here and bring the Spirit of Christ with you.
Well, greetings from Maine. My name is David. I'm from the Boston area. We decided to come up to this camp meeting. This is our second time being up here. One of the things that really captivates me coming here is the workshops that they have. These are hands-on workshops that they have here that are teaching people basic skills. country living skills, gardening, woodworking. So these are the things that I think are very practical in any type of setting, whether it's in a camp meeting setting, whether it's in a school setting, whether it's in a church setting. So I think this is a great start at a new beginning of this camp meeting here in Mapleton, Maine.
Hi, my name is Roderick Harris, and I am music coordinator for WLUT based in Hudson, Maine. That's about 15 miles north of Bangor, Maine. It's a beautiful day here in northern New England camp meeting. I've been playing the piano perhaps since I was about 5 years old, which is a good number of years. I won't tell you how long. However, I learned secular music for a great number of years before I really understood the role of music in our worship of our Creator. God has a unique role for music. He's the one who created music, and if we do it the right way that's pleasing in His sight, we will truly find happiness in this form of worship.
Hello, my name is Joshua O'Donnell, and this is my wife, Laura. And we are from Woodsville, New Hampshire. We came up to the Caribou Camp meeting this year because we heard Walter Veith was going to be here. And we thought, what a great opportunity to see him locally here in New England. And we've been tremendously blessed by this camp meeting. We've been blessed by all the speakers here, and the focus of this camp meeting on country living and on skills for the times we live in and for country living for the whole family. They have the kids doing blacksmithing and upholstery and even animal husbandry.
Health message.
Health message.
Yes.
And then the meetings have been focused mostly on our obligation as lay members in the church to be doing Bible studies, for getting outreach, and for being the light and the message in our area. I think we already know this, but coming to a camp meeting like this and getting revived, it really fills your heart with that encouragement to get active where we've slidden back. And so we've been tremendously blessed here at Caribou this year.
My name is Michael Tardif, and this is my wife, Sonia, and we are from the Taste of Eden Vegan Cafe and Eden Lifestyle Sanctuary Ministry. We came up here to this northern camp meeting for a couple different reasons. We were asked to do some lectures on activated charcoal and clay and medicinal herbs. And in everything that we do, we ask that people would pray, because without Jesus, it's not going to work. Even, any remedies that we have.
Hi, this is Rick Havernan, and we're at the Northern Maine Camp Meeting in Mapleton, Maine, and I'm an Adventist for only a few years. I got baptized in 2008. Walter is able to take prophecy and newspaper events and weave them together in the most perceptive way I have ever seen. He has a gift for doing this, and he's really touched my heart on multiple occasions when he explains the end time events that are happening, and you can see these things happening in the world today, the kind of moral decay that we're facing, the political troubles that are happening, and division in our own denomination of Seventh-day Adventism. There are a lot of people who want to forget the foundational doctrine of Seventh-day Adventism, that don't want to look at the history and behavior of the papacy, for instance. They want to cover that kind of stuff up. And Walter Veith doesn't want to do that. He wants to know us, wants us all to know what's going on in the end times. And as a Christian, that's been very valuable to me, and it really makes me understand that the world probably doesn't have a lot of playing around time left, that we're going to be held accountable for our behavior very soon. And frankly, I'm delighted to be here and to listen to him.
I'm Scott Cleveland, and this is my wife,
Joya.
Joya, and we drove 1,175 miles from rural Retreat, Virginia. That's rural, just like out in the country, Retreat, Virginia, right down in the southwestern corner of Virginia. We'd heard wind that Walter Veith was going to be up in this area, and we thought it was a wonderful excuse to make a good, uplifting vacation. So we snuck on up and snuck in undetected here until the last moments of camp meeting. we're really thrilled to be here, and it's just been a real breath of fresh air to have such a wholesome atmosphere.
Hi, I'm Sean Ray, and I'm here on behalf of Watchman Radio. Watchmen, lift up the trumpet. You can reach us at www.wlut.org. And I'm at the Northern Maine camp meeting. And which horse's name is this? That one's Belle. I'm here with Belle, who's not really into the camera right now. I just would like to say that this is a wonderful camp meeting. There are lots of animals, and all of the teenagers or kids are having such a good time with their cows and chickens and goats and horses and beautiful music, and it's a wonderful camp meeting. It's old-fashioned, and of course the drawer was Dr. or Professor Walter Veith. And I think she's here now. And it was a wonderful time, a blessing for so many. And if you hear about it next year, you should try to plan to come.
Well, I just want to give my impression of this camp meeting. And all I can say, it was a good, old-time camp meeting. And they did it a little bit differently. They looked at activities that you can do, little workshops. And above all, they had that old pioneer spirit. And that is what I liked about this camp meeting more than anything else.
It's not by the decisions of courts or councils or legislative assemblies, not by the patronage of the worldly great men is the kingdom of Christ established, but by the implanting of Christ's nature in humanity through the work of the Holy Spirit. Isn't that beautiful? As many as received him, to them he gave power to become the sons of God, even to them that believe in his name. Let us be like Jesus. Let us become Christ-filled disciples. Let us be on fire for the truth. Let us be on fire for his character, for his kindness, for his grace, for his justice, for the whole package, not half a gospel, the whole gospel. If we are on fire for God, and if we appropriate his righteousness, there is nothing that can stand against you. Nothing. Legions of angels will be sent to the weakest of the saints, and none need fear for the time we are heading for.